What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Edibles, specifically marijuana or cannabis edibles. Consuming weed via mouthhole in cookie or brownie or gummy or drink or the millions of products that are available now that weed is legal in medical and recreational form in many states. My first experience was, I didn't start smoking till I was 30. Tried out edibles shortly after in San Diego. Had a friend of mine hook me up with a brownie from a place that he recommended. And, I had a little bite of a brownie once as I was going to Ray at Night, going on a date to Ray at Night, which is a street fair of art. And it was kind of crazy that it was like kicked in right when I got there. So it's just seeing everything. And early on with edibles, like it really affected me, man. It would crank up colors like super vivid, sound like all of my senses would be like noticeably enhanced, while meantime like my sense of time and my ability to kind of my coordination was not at 100%. It's definitely something where you're kind of in the moment. Like it forces you to be in the zone in a way. And if you're not particularly doing anything or have done the thing in many times, like it's very disorienting when you're in the zone but not really doing anything. Versus being in the zone while doing something, it's just time just melts away and the thing is just like is on everything's autopilot and you're seeing the movements before the actions, and very unique space to be in. But when you're kind of thrown into it with an edible, it can be kind of intense. There was a time I took some peppermint patties I picked up on my way to Mission Beach when I was living in San Diego. It's like, I'm going to go pick up some edibles. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to bring my sketchbook, and I'm just going to draw. I'm going to draw, just sketch things on the beach, high on an edible, walk around, and that's what I did. But the edibles, so I ate one, and the thing with edibles that everybody should know that movies never portray correctly is that it takes like 45 minutes to an hour for the edible to kick in, right? So it's good. I love taking edibles before a movie. Like I'll pop an edible before I go, and then by the time the movie starts, bam, it's hitting hard. I love going to see movies on edibles. It's been a while since I've had an edible. Now that things are recreational in California, it seems like a lot of them are capped off at 100 milligrams, which is good. I used to get, before moving to Denver, I would get these 200 milligram gummies that would just destroy you. Like my favorite thing about edibles is that it's like that it's intense. It's a very intense. I specifically eat edibles for the intense nature. I'm not like microdosing edibles. I'm not doing just instead of smoking. Like I like to eat edibles because I want to go on a mental journey. I want to test my stress levels and my abilities. And it always it churns you through the fucking grinder of just everything, being like high as fuck on an edible. But then at the end of it, when you get churned out, like I get the most relaxed when I'm on an edible. I do like so much stretching and like rolling around on my foam roller or my lacrosse ball, just trying to work out all of the things that have been plaguing me for the past month, week, year, whatever it is, all the different pains that I have when I'm on an edible. It's just like it loosens me up so much to be able to get all of that stuff worked on. And it's just I need a sponsor to sponsor me so I can do edibles more often, because I do miss the regularity of which I would do them, as far as just, maybe once a month, maybe watch the UFC fights on an edible, maybe some specific movie like a comedy on an edible is always great. And I just don't do it as much because, money and things. But yeah, so the beach one I took an edible, and like I said, it takes a while for him to kick in. And before the first one kicked in, it came with like 3 little tiny like quarter size or like $half size peppermint patties, like little mini Yorkshire patties. And I ate one, and then waited maybe a half hour, maybe probably closer to 20 minutes, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat 2. And when they kicked in, man, I was it was too much for me to be out in public on the beach. So I had to like walk all the way back to my car, and I just sat in my car because I couldn't drive anywhere. I was just, every cell in my body was vibrating, and I didn't feel like I really had the power and control of myself to be able to control myself. So I literally just waited in my car using the seatbelt to like work on my shoulder, like, massage my shoulders and like kind of work out tension. In like I was using parts of the seat to like work out knots in my back, and listening to podcasts. Podcasts have been one of my go-tos if I'm too high on an edible, which is actually where I want to be. I want to be too high. Like I want to be like, there's like a level of edibles where you're fucked up, but you can still do shit. I want to be a couple clicks past that, where it's just like, I can't, like, I'm kind of debilitated right now. I'm on a mental roller coaster of emotion, and my cells are not in my control right now. I'm kind of just floating more in the atmosphere of everything else. I can tell that there's empty space between each of my cells. I can feel the space in between my cells. That's how inside of myself I am when I'm on a heavy dose of edible, and I want to be there. It's very self-reflecting. Meditation is amazing on edibles. Podcasts are amazing. So I'm in my car, I'm listening to podcasts, and like hours go by. Like I listen to some long-ass podcasts. And finally, it's like 5 o'clock, whatever. It's a weekday in San Diego, so I know there's traffic. So I'm good enough. I'm still really high, and I don't recommend driving high, but I'm still really high. It's like, I can't be sitting in my car anymore. I want to go home. I want to get a burrito, and I want to chill, put on a movie, and just kind of relax into the rest of this edible. And because it was a lot of traffic, I'm not moving very far, so I can control myself through the 8 freeway going through San Diego back to El Cajon, where I was living. And it was just, it challenges you. It's like a little mini challenge. It's like, I'm going to eat this edible, and it's going to be a high dose. And at that moment when I've eaten it, and it's like, I have an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to process mentally what's about to happen. Like, just mentally prepare for the walkabout of without going anywhere. It's just like a locked in walkabout that I find to be almost like doing something extremely physical, and just kind of the endorphins you get through just succeeding in a physical activity. It's kind of like that, but a mental activity where I just feel so relaxed afterwards. But yeah, like, and when I recently, kind of the last, I've had a few edibles since moving back to California, but there were these mints where it was 1,000 milligrams in the total in container, and each one I think was like 10 milligrams. So it'd be like, I could do like 30 to 50, or 50 milligrams is good. It hits. It doesn't last super long, but really doing like 100 milligrams of an edible plus is kind of far out there for me, and I enjoy it. So yeah, so that's edibles, man. Eat them at your own risk for sure, and be sure you realize that I don't really like the drinks. The chocolate tends to work better. Brownies work better than the gelatin, the candies. Like, certain edibles hit me better than others, and I think the ones with butter, where it's infused into butter, tend to last the longest for me, which I really enjoy. Kind of the overall up and down kind of waves that you'll get from eating edibles. So yeah, eat them at your own risk. New episodes of this show come out daily. Subscribe on IGTV and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at patreon.com/inspired disorder. InspiredDisorder.com for all of my original artwork. Go buy some paintings now at Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.